Hello, Enid. I am Diana Hernandez, Communications Assistant for the City of Enid, and with me is City Manager Jerald Gilbert. Jerald, it's so nice to have you on.
It's good to be here.
Yes. Now, there was a press release that was released about the suspension of in-person court appearances. Can you touch a little bit about that and why?
Yeah, you bet. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to spread throughout the community. It has impacted us at the City of Enid. It's impacted, I can remember when the courthouses had some closures. We've had a person impacted at the city, and at abundance of caution, we've chosen to just close down municipal court operations right now, in-person operations. You can still pay your fine online, you can mail it in. We may end up looking at doing virtual court or something in the future if we need to, but right now, with the COVID crisis getting worse and our numbers that we're going to talk about in a minute getting higher, we've made the prudent decision to close in-person municipal court operations. So this might be a good time to talk some more about COVID.
Yes, and now for individuals wondering about what's going to happen to their court dates, they will be contacted.
Yes.
To see when extended or new dates will be communicated to them, but you can still do mail-in drop-offs and online.
Yes.
Pay, correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Now for the numbers for COVID-19,
Yes.
we did, I did get those numbers. Now I'll go ahead and talk about numbers for Garfield County, and then I'll isolate to Enid alone. So total confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Garfield County, 3,488. That's related to COVID-19 in Garfield County, 33. Recovered from COVID-19 in Garfield County, 2,813. Active cases of COVID-19 in Garfield County, 642. Now for Enid, total confirmed cases is 3,169. That's related to COVID-19 in Enid are 33. Recovered from COVID-19 in Enid, 2,561. And active cases of COVID-19 in Enid, 575. So
Yes.
it's gone up quite a bit. And any remarks with that before we move on?
Yes, I think that the COVID crisis is, as I mentioned earlier, is it's getting worse in the community. So while the city doesn't currently mandate that masks be worn, we haven't done that to this point, or there's been it's been brought twice and failed twice. There is the growing concern amongst many in the community that maybe the government should do something. Right now, what we're doing is recommending that people take appropriate precautions, meaning wash your hands, watch your distance, and wear a mask if you're in a public place or if you can't physically distance. Many businesses require or state on their door that they would like you to wear a mask. And I realize that enforcement for them is difficult, but I would ask people to comply. If you're going to go to Walmart, wear a mask because that's the Walmart policy. If you're going to go to the hospital, you're going to wear a mask. When we do have in-person classes again in the schools, you'll wear a mask because that's the policy. I don't know what the city's going to do. I do know that our numbers just went up by almost 100 active cases today, 575 active cases. I'm going to be on a phone call at 3 o'clock with the mayor and other health officials such as the hospital administrators. And as everybody knows, probably that's been reading the papers lately, the hospitals are full. Now that doesn't mean that there's not a bed open right now. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they are struggling, that's my word, with the number of COVID patients and other health issues that people have. So that's a critical issue that we have in our community right now. So I know there's a lot of dialogue going on in the community, even with our mayor and commissioners. Currently, what the city does is recommend that you follow guidance, wash your hands, wear a mask when appropriate, and watch your distance. Stay 6 feet apart. So it is a serious issue. It's getting more serious by the moment, it seems like, with numbers. So I will say that a bit of good news that we've been hearing for a while from our health officials and also at the state and national level, multiple vaccines are on the way. Some of those may be available as early as next month to limited numbers and priorities of people, which would probably be healthcare officials, vulnerable folks, maybe first responders. So the vaccine's probably still, I'm guessing, probably a few months away for the masses, like myself and most people watching, but it is coming. But until then, for us to function, we have to take appropriate precautions, and really all we can do at this point is what we've learned in the last 7 or 8 months is what the governor's helped boil down based on health official advice to 3 things: watch your distance, wash your hands, and wear a mask in public areas or when you can't distance.
Now, what are your plans for Thanksgiving?
You know, my plans, I'm going to stay around the house for Thanksgiving proper. I know that people need to do what they feel comfortable doing. It's a difficult thing to mandate social gathering sizes, but I think everybody's seen the warnings, and our local healthcare officials, meaning our hospital administrators and our county health administrator, are concerned about numbers. Our numbers now are, as you heard Diana say, 575. Mm-hmm. There's a concern that after Thanksgiving it'll be worse because people will go and not follow some of those precautions about wearing a mask and or washing hands or keeping your distance. And it's natural. We want to see our family. You want to hug people you haven't seen, but you should think through some of those things. And just be careful. Just be careful because it is likely that we will see an uptick. You can't really tell with COVID if somebody's sick or not. I think the statistics show about 40% of the people are asymptomatic, mm-hmm. so therefore they may not even know themselves. I know testing's way up in town, meaning in numbers. You've got some of the updates here and you shared with the public. They're available every day on the website. So mm-hmm. again, I want to be clear, the city is not mandating at this point anything, but we're recommending that you all use good common sense and what we've learned in the 8 months of the pandemic to help each other, help ourselves, but really at this point to help the hospitals, because the hospitals are full and they're full of sick people.
Yeah.
And they range from younger people to older people, from people with underlying conditions to, I presume, people with, I'm sure some people have no conditions and they're just sick mm-hmm. with COVID. So I know at the city we've got probably more than 15 people right now that are either positive, out waiting for a test or a result, or are quarantining. And that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but necessarily, but when you only have 500 people, it impacts us. Thus, you can see some of the impact from the court closing. And so we're doing our very best. At the city, we require employees to wear masks in common areas or in meetings or places they can't physically distance. We're continuing to try and raise vigilance on that and get compliance. And I think every day with people looking at the numbers, I think it's helpful. So it's a serious thing. We should take it seriously and do the appropriate thing. But good news is the vaccine's coming. So
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be one that will be happy to take the vaccine when it's available and it's my turn.
Yeah, and absolutely, when you touched on that the hospitals are really busy. My sister, who is right now studying to be a nurse, her husband is, my brother-in-law, is a respiratory therapist. Mm-hmm. And so he opted out on her not even dropping by to the hospital, drop off his lunch because they were just so busy. So they're working, and they're working very hard. And they're very passionate for what they do to help these patients, but absolutely, they are working very hard.
Absolutely. There's a lot of heroes in this situation, but our mm-hmm. healthcare professionals are right there, probably at the top of the list of heroes, working through this thing month after month after month. There is some hope now with the vaccine coming soon, but it's a very challenging time, and if nothing else, for the sake of knowing that all of us at some point may get sick, whether it's COVID or some other reason, and we're going to want to be able to have a place in the hospital. Right now, that's the really big critical challenge, at least that I'm interpreting from the meetings I'm in and what I'm hearing. So please, everybody, do your best.
Right.
Follow proper recommendations and take precautions. And we know we will get through this together. It's been 8 months or so. It's going to be a few more before we get to the end of the line. So.
Awesome, thank you.
You bet.
Now let's touch on something a little bit lighter. Now Christmas in the park, it's still happening. An abundance of caution, we are still taking it safely, entering into it safely. Now, what is going to be different for Christmas in the park this year? Now, it's going to start this Saturday after Thanksgiving. So how's it going to look like?
Well, there's going to be more lights, more Christmas lights. It's on. It's also we have lights in Meadow Lake South as well. So both areas of Meadow Lake Park will have Christmas lights on the trees. There'll be some displays out there. We will also have some Christmas characters out there, and then also the Cookie Monster. He's apparently come from, I don't know if he came from the North Pole, but he's going to be out there for 4 Saturdays in a row from, is it 6 to 8?
And we have the press release
yes,
pulled up here.
I think it's on the screen. So we'll have some characters out there. They'll be spread out in different pavilions. If they will have some goodie bags to hand out if folks want to accept those. It is drive-through. That is different. In years past, in the 2 or 3 years since we started it, we have had people come out and we'd serve hot chocolate and we would have crafts and things. We're not doing that this year, for obvious reasons. So you can drive through in your car. If you want to see those Christmas characters, they'll be there during those times, but you don't have to come at those times. You can come anytime you want. Meadow Lake Park's open. You can drive through, look at the lights, and I think it's a nice, I believe it's a nice gift to the city of Enid through the hard work of city employees putting up those lights and those generous donors who are participating, and I believe some of those businesses may have a few displays up as well. So it's a neat thing for the community. It's intended to be a nice thing, and a safe thing.
Absolutely.
So stay in your car as you drive through and look at the lights.
Absolutely. I know my 3-year-old is going to be really excited about that. Okay, another exciting thing that has just opened is the ice skating rink. Now, have you been by to look at it? Have you ice skated on it yet?
I am not much of an ice skater, but I have been by to look at it, and it looks wonderful. I'm glad that folks can enjoy something else outside downtown, and it's open. I believe the hours are something like 3 to 8. I think it's also on the screen now.
Yes.
And so you can come down when you feel like it and get out. You can get some ice skates and get in there and skate around. It is another nice thing to do in downtown Enid. I know Lights Up the Plain is getting ready to come, I believe on Friday, right?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, Lights Up the Plain. There'll be a fireworks show. You can go ice skating. You can go to some of the businesses downtown, and of course, take the proper precautions, wear a mask as needed, and let's have a good time. It's a nice start to the holiday season.
So this is really good. These are some nice, safe options outside that individuals can partake in during this season where we are spending it very uniquely this year.
Yes.
Now, another thing that is happening is a skate park.
Yes.
So
the skate park, yes, it's coming along very nicely. I know a lot of people are very excited. I believe our expected completion date is around the 11th of December. I do know we were just talking about COVID. Well, our skate park construction crew has been impacted by COVID too. They were going to go home for Thanksgiving week anyway, so they're gone for that. But the additional complication, they have at least one person on the crew has tested positive, so I'm not sure when they're going to be back. So I do know they will come back when it's safe and they're healthy, and they will finish it. And hopefully that'll be around December the 11th, but if it takes a little bit longer, it'll just take a little bit longer. It'll be a really nice first-class skate park for the community and for the people that are into skateboarding. I've seen so many people that have mentioned to me how excited they are. I appreciate the leadership of two commissioners in particular, Commissioner Allen and Commissioner Ezell, who are avid fans of skate parks and the park system and big supporters. And Commissioner Ezell is a skateboarder himself. So hopefully whenever we do have a grand opening and we can do it in a safe manner, I'm hoping to see Commissioner Ezell on a skateboard out there. We might even have Kyle Dillingham, the world famous violinist from Enid, Oklahoma, who is an avid skateboarder, and he would like to be there if he can be. So
Yeah, that'd be really exciting.
it's coming, it'll be exciting,
Yep.
but even the skate park's been impacted by COVID, so.
Yes, everything.
Everything.
Everything has
Everything.
had to adapt and adjust. So
Yes.
yes, absolutely. Now let's jump into departments, things that are
Yes.
happening in our City of Enid departments. Now, the Human Resources did something really neat and exciting, and I had the awesome privilege to partake in this in conjunction with the Don't Be Scared to Run C25K running program. A self-defense class geared towards runners was held on Thursday. Now, as you can see on the picture here, in this self-defense class, towards the very end, they taught us some very neat skills that we were able to implement, and we all did actually, were able to break a board.
Wow.
It was pretty impressive. Let me tell you, I never thought in my wildest dreams I would be able to do a karate move and break a board, but it was really impressive. It was really easy, straightforward, and it was such a great experience. So thank you, Human Resources, to giving your employees this awesome experience and very helpful self-defense. It's really
Yeah, I
nice.
think that's incredible, and I think it would be great for you on a future program to break a board. That would be fantastic.
I'll think about that. But that would be
Yeah, it
awesome,
is a
though.
great effort by HR focused on fitness
Right.
for employees, and this is a way anybody can work up to running a 5K and or participating in these kind of activities and learning about self-defense at the same time. It's fantastic.
It is, and it's fun. It's fun at the
Yes.
same time. All right, stormwater and roadway maintenance. These guys don't get enough props and kudos, but they are outside every day from way before any of us probably are even up. And as you can see in the screen right now, they are crews out sweeping the streets in downtown Enid. So thank you guys for what you do in keeping our streets and downtown area looking nice.
Yeah, and I would just add for them right now a couple things that hopefully people can notice. Anybody that lives over off of Oak Street, that's just south of the overpass on 81, we went over there, they went over there and laid down some new asphalt.
That's right.
And it's very, very nice. It was a very full of potholed and pocked up road in very bad condition. It probably needs a complete rebuild at some point, but in the meantime, what they did is go over there and they ground a little bit of it and they laid down some new asphalt, and it's much, much nicer for about a block there, which is really bad by ABC Park. So I appreciate their efforts there. They're also out with one of our grapple trucks removing brush from stormwater channels and drains where it can plug up in a rainstorm and cause flooding issues. So those are a couple things that I know they've been out doing recently, so kudos to them.
Yeah, I was actually out there. We were out there shooting some film, and
Oh, good.
and they were working.
Yes.
It was cold, but they were working up a sweat because it was a lot of shovel work and a lot of alternating because you get tired shoveling all that asphalt. So it was really neat to see the whole process, and it was definitely really neat thing to see them in action. All right, next slide here. We are going to be talking about Parks and Recreation. Talking about Christmas in the Park. They are putting up lights, still working hard to try to make this, a really good Christmas. And they are going above and beyond with all these characters and trying to just kind of bring the community together. And you know what? That we can still enjoy each other, still enjoy community, and be safe at the same time. So isn't that awesome?
Yeah, they're doing an incredible job. Again, this is for you, Enid, to enjoy the lights in the park, and they're the primary people the main people doing it. We appreciate OG&E has helped us a lot over the past year to upgrade electricity in the park to help make some of these things possible. But all the work of hanging those lights and the maintenance of the park is the wonderful job that our parks people do. So I know some of their future projects that you will see results on soon up at Crossland Park. They're re-roofing pavilion buildings up there with metal roofing material, and they're also going to be re-roofing the dugout and the concession building there at ABC Park, right there at the 81 overpass. So over the next few weeks, you're going to see those improvements along with Christmas in the Park and the other things that they've been doing.
Mm-hmm. Nice, good deal. All right, next slide, technical services. Crews replaced a broken storm siren on Willow Road, and it was really neat. I talked to Mike Williams a couple of weeks ago, and they've been replacing these all over Enid. And so for me, this was new because I only thought we had like maybe one or two, but we have several on Enid. So it was really neat that they go out and they climb these high places and replace these, and it's really nice.
Yeah, we've got 30 plus sirens in the city to help warn us of tornadic activity or storm activity. And Technical Services works closely with Mike Honigsberg, our emergency manager, and keep these sirens in working operation and upgrade them from time to time. So something else Technical Services has recently done in relation to the ice rink downtown, that, and also our water utility maintenance department, to make that ice rink possible downtown, they needed two things. Because normally in Enid, Oklahoma, this time of year, you don't get cold enough temperatures to generate ice on its own, so you got to have electricity to chill the water and freeze the water to make the ice, and you've got to have water. Two things we have a lot of in Enid, Oklahoma, but we just had to do some electrical work, which Danny Smith, our electrician in Technical Services, working with the contractor and OG&E, has gotten all of that electricity, huge amount of voltage. I don't even know how much it is, but it's required down there. They've got it. And we put in, utility maintenance put in a nice spigot down there to one of those frost-free kind that, has the pump. And, so that's a couple things they've been up to. And of course, they also work on our traffic lights. They maintain our water and sewer computerized systems at the wastewater plant and all of our water production areas, among all the other things they do, and maintain our buildings. So they have been busy.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, they have. Thank you, Technical Services, for everything that you do. Right. Now on to fleet management. Now these guys are working on a fleet management vehicle, and so it is really neat that these guys kind of do everything. So if something's broken down, they get in there and they fix it. So it just blows my mind that they're just so well-rounded, and they can do a wide variety of things. So it's really awesome to see them in action and just do little simple things like this to like huge projects like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Working on everything from police cars to trash trucks to EPTA vans, to a truck like you see on the lift, which is a regular pickup with a bed, mowers. They fix all that stuff, and sometimes if they can't fix it or it's under warranty or we need more expertise, of course we'll outsource some of that work, but they have to be very handy because they fix basically anything that runs in the city. They're responsible for fixing when it's broken.
Yeah.
Or when it needs service. I mean, just a simple oil change and or rotate the tires. Our service station does that as well. And gosh, we have lots of vehicles, so keeps them busy.
Absolutely. All right, now let's go to solid waste services. And I'll give you a couple of numbers here. I'll read them off. Roll-off / compactors 33/26 pickup. Debris piles, ongoing daily efforts to clear debris. That is still an ongoing thing going on. Polycarts delivered, repaired, 28 delivered and 9 repaired. Solid waste worked on repairs to machine at the landfill. So it's really neat because these machines, even though they're big, you don't think about them at the landfill. They still need to be maintained. They still need to be worked on if something happens. So these guys, not only do they work on these machines, they help maintenance them at the same time. So he worked on repairs to the machine at the landfill, so that's pretty neat.
Yep. Yeah, this is a good time to talk about the ice storm debris cleanup efforts that are going on. Solid waste is front and center in that effort. They run the landfill. They also provide the service weekly to come around and pick up poly carts. And now in times of ice storms and in regular times too, we have they have 2 clamshell or grapple trucks that can come around and pick up bulk trash, or in this case, limbs. Let me just update you on the general cleanup effort. The ice storm occurred on or around October 25th to about the 27th, over several nights, I think from a Sunday to about maybe into Tuesday. It did wreak lots of damage. We immediately got some contractors involved that worked for about a week, a little less than a week, hauled about 41,000 cubic yards of brush to our 10th Street convenience site. And then I started looking at the magnitude of the cleanup and the dollar value that was going to be involved, and looking at FEMA regulations, and we had to put the contractor on hold while we put out a competitive bidding proposal that's actually going to be open tomorrow at City Hall at 3 o'clock, so that we can get a contractor or contractors back on board, involved, helping us pick up this storm debris. The storm debris far exceeds the city's capability with our limited resources and trucks to pick this up. So we have 3 trucks that are out today. I think 1 truck today is in Willow West. I think 1 truck is down right now, and the other truck is out picking up debris that's in our stormwater channels, because we're pretty sure it's going to rain here pretty soon, and so we want to get some of that debris removed. My anticipation is that tomorrow or by Wednesday morning at the latest, we'll have a contractor or contractors engaged with the city contractually to begin the pickup process again to help us. We did have a contractor that was here before and could be selected again if they submit. There'll be one that's considered. They had 5 to 7 trucks here that are very large capacity grapple trucks. They hold 60 plus yards or even more, 100 cubic yards of brush. So since that time and the beginning, as we've refined our effort, we've also determined that the big chore really all along, and especially now, is still picking up brush at curbside. There are some folks who want to bring brush to sites. We've asked them to bring it to the landfill now, because we've seen reduced usage of the service center and 10th Street site, and we think it's best now to just haul it to the landfill. We've streamlined the process out there. If you do pay somebody, they can haul the stuff out there, or if you pile it at the curb, we'll come by and get it. We should have contractors engaged by the end of the day tomorrow or by Wednesday morning at the latest to help us, because we're going to need it. We're going to end up having probably 150,000 cubic yards or more of brush that needs to be picked up, and we're going to start measuring it in tonnage at the landfill. So I know some folks, some of you have had your piles at the curb now for 2 or 3 weeks or more. We're cognizant of that. We appreciate you calling in. We have a long list, and as soon as we get that contractor in here, we are going to have many trucks out picking up to make that brush go away as fast as possible. Thanks for your patience. And it's in our specs too. We're trying to get 80% of it done in the next 30 days after we award this contract. So basically that's the month of December. So that's what we'll be working on with the contractors. So thank you for your patience. If you haven't called in your pile of brush and you'd like to, you can reach out and call that phone number. I believe it's 616-7300. Yes. Or you can get on C-Click Fix, either on the website or the phone app, and report it that way too. Right. Even if you haven't reported your brush pile, there's likely many other brush piles on your street. And when the trucks come to get your brush, we're not going to not pick up somebody's brush because they didn't call it in. We're going to pick up all the brush in that area. So again, there's a truck out today in Willow West working on that area, and there's a truck cleaning up some of the stormwater debris issues in our channels and stormwater drains. So and then we've got a truck down right now. So that's the challenge. We've got 3 assets. So we've got help is on the way. That's what I'm saying.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that update. And I know everybody it's kind of been like all hands on deck and it's still ongoing, so it's awesome. Now let's go to water production and pull up that slide real quick. I want to give these guys kudos. Pump age for the week was 62,367,120 gallons of water. Water production pumping out water on Boomer and Lake Helms Road. As you can see, they are working on that. Well, they worked on that last week, so awesome. Thank you, Water Productions, for everything that you do behind the scenes, and thank you for all the water that you provide so that we can take showers, cook, and everything else. So thanks. And next slide to utility maintenance, sewer calls, 7 lift station / calls 1, meter leaks / repairs 11, service lines 4, new service 8, dirt work 6, water main 1. Utility maintenance replaced meters and service lines at the fairgrounds, and that was last week. So thank you, utility maintenance. These are one of my favorite guys actually, because they are always outside, always getting down dirty. They don't make excuses, they get it done. So it's really
They fix them in all kinds of weather, and usually when a water line breaks, it's either cold or it's hot. It just doesn't seem to break when it's just right.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about upcoming commission meeting.
You bet.
So that's going to be December the 1st, and what is on it, if there's anything on the agenda that you can share with us?
Well, right now the study session is very light. I think we have an update from Kurt Rogo, our legislative consultant, and that's the only thing we currently have on the study session. So if that doesn't change in the next day or two, I'll probably suggest that we cancel the study session and just have the regular meeting. The meeting and the study session, if we have it, is going to be at the Stride Center. All of our meetings, probably for the foreseeable future, as long as we have the COVID pandemic going on, will probably be at the Stride Center, because we can distance better there, and we can distance the commissioners better and the public better. So that's where we'll be Tuesday, a week from tomorrow. We'll post an agenda Wednesday around 5 before we leave for the holidays. For most city employees, Thursday and Friday will be holidays. And Monday, most people will be back to work. There are some exceptions, and I think we've already put out what the holiday schedule is for the city for folks to know. There's right now on the agenda, we just reviewed it this morning, there is the guaranteed maximum price proposal, which was discussed at the last council meeting last week in study session, and that amount is $243 million, roughly $500,000.
And this is for Call Lake project?
Yes, it's for the Call Lake project, and that's for the construction costs. The total cost of the project is anticipated, based on the study session last week, to be about $317,500,000. It's a really big project. That's a little over the 315 budget we've been 315 million budget we've been talking about, but it's I believe the commission and city staff are very excited that it's an executable price. So we'll have those items. We'll also have some loan application items on the agenda for the 1st, and then it's likely on the 15th, and probably future meetings after that, we'll start awarding construction contracts related to the guaranteed maximum price to Garney to build different pieces of the Call Lake project, which the construction price is $243,500,000. $243,500,000. So those are big numbers, folks. Sometimes I forget that and say 243,000. But anyway, you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot of money, and it's a great project. It'll take about 2.5 to 3 years of construction, and it should start by March or April of next year if we stay on schedule at this point. So.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
And I don't have anything else here to discuss. So before we close out, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I think we've had a very good discussion. COVID's continuing threat for us, and it's escalating. So again, please take proper precautions and follow recommendations. Good things are happening though in the city, everywhere, because we have to go on.
Right.
We have to conduct business, not only at the city, but we have to. The private sector has to do what they do, and Schools are doing the best they can, although they're all virtual right now. So
Right.
Good times are still here, and better times are coming.
Absolutely.
So I think we're all excited for the promise of 2021.
Yeah, I think we've had our fill of 2020.
I hear you. Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
So I kind of want to add to the Thanksgiving. So this year, my family has decided, in abundance of caution, that we didn't want to do a split Thanksgiving. So unanimously, we opted in all wearing masks. So I know it is not the popular thing to do and not very popular to talk about masks, but in caring for my family and caring that, we don't want to be separated, we want to make this work, and we so rather wear a mask and have a sanitation station at my mom's house. It's for us, it's worth it. And so it's kind of taking powerful responsibility over our safety, over the safety of the ones that we love. And so absolutely, if you can stay home, stay home. If not, if you're going to venture out, meet family, that's great. But to take on that powerful responsibility and mask up for yourself and for the ones that you love. So just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah. Well, I think you're doing a great thing. So and you guys did it. You have a very democratic family. It sounds like. It was
Yes.
unanimous.
Yeah, it was a unanimous decision. Let's do it. So, all right. So same time next week, city update, Mondays at 1:30. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact us through social media, calling us by phone, any communications department, or Jerald. Can they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. They can. I get email, jgilbert@enid.org, and my phone number I think is 580-616-7245, and it rings right to me. So
Awesome.
yeah.
All right. Well, awesome. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and have a great Thanksgiving and stay safe.